everyone. Welcome back to A Little Jaded. We are very excited to welcome a familiar face here at Jaded Productions, but for the first time on A Little Jaded podcast, Alexa Capelli. Alexa is a singer-songwriter based in Los Angeles, California, finding her voice at a very young age. Alexa's first live performance, which I didn't know before, was at 8 years old when she sang the national anthem for the Ontario Reign hockey game. But she didn't stop there. Alexa auditioned for NBC's The Voice in season 14, where she joined Team Kelly and blew the nation away with covers of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and I've Got the Music in Me. And this summer, Jaded University, a Jaded Productions subsidiary that educates and provides experience to aspiring music industry professionals, had the opportunity to partner with Alexa Capelli and create marketing, PR, journalism, and management related projects centered around Alexa's career. It was especially exciting for the students because her new single Crimes had just released on August 1st. So go check that out. It's streaming now and it's dominating in streams. Alexa, welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you here.
Hi, I'm so excited too. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course.
All right. So the first question that we're gonna ask you is, can you talk a little bit about your career and how you've gotten to this point? And we'd also want to know how exactly you ended up performing the national anthem at that AHL hockey game at 8 years old, and how you worked up the courage to do that at such a young age.
Yeah, my career I feel like has kind of snowballed into what it is. I was talking about this actually with my mom the other day and like how I got into singing and how they even like noticed I could kind of carry a tune, to inspire them to sign me up for voice lessons. But my dad played guitar a lot when I was a kid. He was in a band and pursued music himself. So it was really kind of a musical household for us. My mom can't sing if you paid her. But I definitely have always loved music, would always like memorize the melodies on the radio, even if I had just heard the song for the first time. My parents actually had a nonprofit when I was growing up. It was a children's charity called Stephen's Hope for Children, and they had a bunch of fundraisers throughout the year. They helped seriously ill or injured children with like treatment and recovery during the hardest seasons of their life. So like a lot of financial support, housing, things like that. And so we had these fundraisers at these like local sports games. And it was like this hockey, the Ontario Reign hockey team, and then also I think like the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes in like our neighboring like cities. Would have like these fundraisers and nights where we'd all like go and watch a game. And so I think we had like been in contact with some people that were part of the teams and was like, hey, like our daughter can kind of sing. Like if she practiced, could she could she sing the national anthem? And then yeah, and so then I sang the national anthem quite a few times for those fundraisers, and it was really fun. It definitely formed my I think confidence at a young age, singing in front of like all those people and like hearing the echo come back. Anyways, long story short, yeah, that's kind of how it all started, I guess.
That's so awesome to hear, kind of just like how everything kind of pans out.
Yeah.
And also like the connections are so wild too. Me and Jade also wanted to ask this on top of it. Both of us are pretty big hockey fans, so we wanted to
Okay.
ask you if that's something that you still kind of have a connection to, and if so, what team are you a fan of?
I would say the LA Kings, like probably just because I'm in LA. It's so funny because hockey and baseball are the only two like games where like I can follow along as a watcher, like I know what's happening. I'm still working on football, still working on soccer, but I do think these moments when I was a kid formed that knowledge. So now I like, I do like sports in that regard, but I'm not an expert in any by any means. And yeah.
Maybe one day we can sing the national anthem for the LA Kings. Who knows?
Hopefully, hey, someday.
No, that would be so awesome. That's so funny. That's crazy how that came to. And the echo didn't scare you or anything? Like
It
you,
just threw me off, like, because it's like the speakers are facing you, kind of, because they're facing like. Anyways, yeah,
yeah.
but
No, that's crazy. I was just thinking about that like when when I was putting these together, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's like 8 years old is such a young age." I can't like it's just that's crazy. I can't even imagine that
aw.
that had to be so scary, but so cool. And like you said, it probably built your confidence up like to be able to do such insane things like audition for The Voice, and get on the show. Like that's so cool. And that's something else we wanted to kind of like move into is like, can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to audition for The Voice in 2018 and kind of like what that experience looked like? We've all seen it from YouTube's perspective, but what was it from your perspective?
Yeah. Uh, well, fun fact, Kelly Clarkson won, I think the year or the year after I was born. Like she won on American Idol in that like same like time. And so I want to say it was fate, I do. But also like I grew up on that girl like just singing. I love a strong vocal. I love a confident woman to like look up to. I think I listened to so much of her music as a little girl. And so when like there was an opportunity for me to audition, I was really skeptical because one, it's like, this is a big thing. I was in high school, so it seemed like way bigger than me. And I remember I actually went to the open call in a different state because I missed the one in LA. And so my dad and I drove like 3 hours, stood in line for 5 hours. And I actually feel like I did not do well in my first audition. I didn't get a call back. But then how this system works, like, they keep tabs of everyone. And if they want to pull you in for a different season to audition, you can do that. So I eventually did get a call back, went back in, sang better that time because I was just too nervous the first time, which is so interesting because I don't typically get nervous like that. But yeah, I mean, and then just kind of the rest happened. I got scheduled for a blind audition, and then kept going, was on Kelly's team. She was amazing. I always say that she's exactly the same on camera as she is off camera. I mean, I only interacted with her for a little bit, but um, they were so sweet, and I love those memories. And I hope she's doing well right now. But yeah, that's my long-winded answer for that one.
No, that's so awesome. I had no idea that it was like a kind of process where you could go audition and then they could be like, not this season, but we'll call you like, and then you get a call back like like how many years were in between like when you first auditioned and when they said, "Hey, come back."
I think it was like a matter of months. And at the time, I didn't know. I didn't know they were gonna, have me. All I knew was I didn't get a call back in that first moment. So yeah, I don't remember. I think it was a couple months to a year tops, but I think it was more like maybe 6 months. Maybe.
Wow, that's so cool. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, because I mean, again, we all knew that you were on The Voice, but it's really cool to like hear it from your perspective. That's awesome.
And then also with you being on The Voice, I'm sure you probably accrued a lot of followers on social media. So, with over 453,000 followers on TikTok, you're no stranger to social media virality. And one TikTok video in particular that blew up was when you were playing Could Have Just Left Me Alone before it was released. And right before the chorus started, you screamed, and it ended up
Right.
like the scream ended up being in the song. So, what inspired you to make that choice to kind of keep that in there?
Yeah. I mean, for context too, for people who don't know me, I was on The Voice when I was in high school. So between that moment and this moment where I'm releasing this song, teasing this song, getting thousands of followers and subscribers and new listeners, it was a matter of I think no, it was in 2022. Yeah, 4 years. So I'd been writing and releasing music. I'd been making music videos. I had moved to LA. I had been working on like so many projects and like songs that I really truly like believed in. And so at this point, when I wrote "Could Have Just Left Me Alone," I was on a little camp retreat that I got my one of my favorite producers at the time, like his name's Tommy, he's still a great friend of mine, to come and produce for the week, and some writer friends, and we just had a great time. And so I felt really comfortable, and I get really excited sometimes when I'm like having fun, and so the song was just so good, and so I like squealed, like screamed, and my friend was recording, and yeah, I just posted it. I don't know, and then people were like, "Put the scream in the song," and I was like, "I don't know, maybe." They're like, "No, do it." And you will not believe how many times I stood in that recording booth and tried to like re-record a different scream. Like my vocal coach from when I was like in middle school would have had my neck if she heard me screaming the way that I was screaming into that microphone. Like never again. Um, but then we ended up going back to the original video, pulled the audio, and used the scream from the actual, like from the video that got like 15, 16 million views on TikTok. I think another 10 on, or 10 or 11 on Reels. So, because that's what the people wanted. And, I'm trying to outgrow my people pleaserness, but I actually really did enjoy that scream. Once we took it out, I missed it. So they were right. I stand corrected. But it was less of a choice and more of an accident.
No, that's literally so awesome. Sometimes moments like that end up being like the most iconic things ever. So, can I just say it was really we love
Thanks.
it.
It's so fun to do live too. I don't scream at myself, but that's where y'all shine. In the audience, like, okay, let it out, let it rip. Because I shan't.
You're finally, like, helping out your vocal coach. You're like, okay, you guys can do that scream. I did it too
Right.
many times in the booth.
Yes. Those are the choices I'm making. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's so cool. It just seemed so organic, and it was just that was a really cool moment to see that you actually put it in the song. I thought that was crazy cool. But
Yeah.
um
Thanks.
yeah, yeah, totally. And we talked about this a little bit in the intro, but like you partnered with Jaded University this summer, which was really awesome for our students. And so we just first of all, I want to say thank you so much for doing that. But our aspiring music industry professional students got the opportunity to get some hands-on experience and some more knowledge by centering their projects in artist management, PR, journalism, and marketing around your career. So, as an artist, I'm sure you know the journey of, breaking into the music industry and, continuing to follow your dream is long and at times really frustrating. And I feel like being an artist runs parallel to trying to be a music industry professional. So, what, kind of advice would you have for people, artists or aspiring music industry professionals alike, for breaking in and just continuing to follow their dreams even in times of frustration?
That's a great question. I think so many people have awesome answers to this question, and I love their answers. I find that sometimes maybe they're just at a completely different like position or like place than I am at. So maybe I don't have like the resources to go like take a vacation and like take a break, and like maybe I don't have as strong of a community as some other people have. And so I think those are things that I have to figure out, okay, what is the root of that advice? I think it's like one, having rest, one, finding pleasure in other things as well, and also like not being alone and having like people in your circle, having support. Um, I think those are just not even necessarily music industry or artist things to do, but just human. Like at the end of the day, like we're all humans. Like we all have, like needs and desires, and like we're not invincible. We're not superheroes. We need to sleep, and we need to rest, and we need to eat, and we need to drink water, and we need to go outside, and we need to have like we need to have conversations with real people in person, like face to face. So I think sometimes for me, at least the part that is the biggest blessing and the biggest curse is being on my phone so much and getting a fraction of people's reactions to my music and a fraction of the impact that that music is making. I can see numbers, I can see likes, I can see comments, but I can't see how my song is getting somebody through, a breakup or a divorce or like really hard season in life. And granted, like my songs are like the kind of songs that you scream with your windows down. Like maybe they're not. Maybe some of these songs aren't like the deep cutting whatever, but those are real emotions and like real things that people experience, and they attach those memories and those seasons too. And that's really important, and I love hearing those stories. I went on tour for the first time at the end of last year, and it was so like healing for me even to like feel less alone, because I have people come up to me and say that they relate to my song. Like I feel less alone when you tell me that you like my song, you know I don't know. So I'm working on making friends. I'm always working on trying to find balance. Like my screen time is a roller coaster. I try to be disciplined and then I'm not. So yeah, giving myself grace too, but really trying to like be better than who I was yesterday and the day before that and the year before that. And like I do see the growth when I look back, and I want to be proud of myself for where I've been and what I've learned, and I am proud of myself for that. So I think hopefully you can pull pieces out of whatever I just ramble on about. But um, yeah, I think letting the frustrations drive you to like your humanity. Like, okay, what is this telling me that I need in my life? Because we need more than just success. And yeah, you get it. You get what I'm saying.
No, 100%. I think that's so valid. And I really like what stuck out to me was that you said, when you said it's not always about like the deep cuts, the hard hitting. It's about like sitting in the car with your friends, rolling the windows down and just like scream singing. I think that's like encapsulates perfectly the advice. Is sometimes like things don't have to be like deep cut and raw and emotional. Like sometimes that is the memory right there, is just like rolling your windows down. Sometimes like that's a season of life that, I mean, you helped me with it for sure. I do that
Oh,
sometimes.
yay.
Like, yeah, let me throw on some crimes right now and just like scream sing it, you know?
Amazing. Yeah, because that in a way is like music. I always say this, and I've heard so many people that I love say this, but like being vulnerable is like actually a door to healing, like genuinely. And I think music is like the doorknob sometimes.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes you don't know what you're feeling until you see, hear, or like agree or like relate to something that reflects what you're going through. And you're like, wait, I know exactly what that feels like. I felt that this time, I feel it now. I'm scared to feel that someday. And so, yeah, it makes you a little bit less afraid to walk and like get to the other side of healing, if that makes sense. And that's why I love music. That's why I love performing and being in this at all.
Yeah, no, 100%. Music is the doorknob. I love that. I literally love that. I've never heard that before. That makes so much sense. Like when you said that, I was like, whoa, that really
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. That perfect. I love that answer. That was a great answer for sure. But
Oh, thank you.
so, something else that you had kind of like mentioned is touring and, getting out there and making these one-on-one connections with people and seeing how you've helped them. And, in turn, that helps you. And you've had a lot of live performances in your career and, touring as one of them last year. But so far, it seems like your energy, and so because unfortunately I've only ever seen you on the screen, so I'm like, but your energy comes right through the screen, I feel like. So what do you enjoy most about live performing?
Oh, wow. I love a lot about it. I mean, of course, there's that like whole aspect about like meeting people, and that's usually, the conversations come in the aftermath of a show. Um, but I think it feels like a release for me. It's fun. I really have a good time on stage. It feels like in a way it's fulfilling one of the boxes of my purpose. I trained and have done this my whole life, and so it just feels like natural for me. It feels like what I'm supposed to be doing, what I should be doing, what I want to be doing. what I think about doing when I'm not doing it. Like I love performing. I love the creative aspect of building a show, um, and kind of making songs come alive in rehearsals and things like that. So yeah, I don't know if I can pick a favorite thing, but I think the biggest takeaway is just seeing actual faces, probably singing along too.
No, that's so awesome. And I mean, I've seen videos of you performing too, just like Jade says, like kind of watching through a screen, and you always do such a great job. So it's good to hear kind of more about that. But speaking of music, of course, you recently teased your debut album, Fairytales and Fallacies. What was the inspiration behind the album name, and how may this era be different from your past releases?
I'm so glad you asked. I love this question. Um, so I don't know if this was during the intro portion I said this or if this was before, but last year was a hard year for me. I think I experienced more change in the span of like 18 months than I had ever experienced in my life. And that's just, the tale of your 20s. Like, you're just gonna, everything changes so quickly, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, that was 4 months ago? What? But I had kind of been coming to this point where I really needed something to shift. I had recently gotten out of my label deal. I had split with my previous management. I was kind of moving to Nashville, moving back from Nashville. I was in a relationship that just was not good for me. And yeah, I missed home so much. So many things happening career wise, lifestyle wise, and relationally that just made me feel like a shell of a person at the end of last year. And so I'm really grateful. My brother right now is managing me. And he and my family and my friends kind of just like picked me back up. And I've had so many songs that I, was kind of sitting on during my time with that label that I was not able to release with them. So I released them at the beginning of this year, and after putting it out, which was so amazing, and I'm so happy that these songs, specifically my song 5 Minutes, people have been waiting for years because I teased it years ago. Um, After that, I was like, oh my gosh, are my best songs behind me? Are my best moments behind me? Am I even a writer anymore? And of course, I wake up every morning and I journal. I say, good morning, God, and I journal my thoughts and prayers and concerns and, whatever. So I know innately I'm a writer. I wasn't loving anything that I was writing musically, um, which really, really bummed me out. I'm not gonna lie. I hadn't experienced writer's block for that long before. At least songs that I, wasn't obsessed with and didn't feel like fit me anymore. um, so then when I wrote Crimes, it was kind of like, I don't know if this is for me. Like, I don't know if this is my song. I kind of had to get out of this box of where I'd been to finish it. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to end up in my hands or another artist. But then as I was kind of thinking about it on the way home, I was like begging the producer to send me the day of bounce because I was like, I need to hear that melody again. Like I need to hear it again. I need to hear it again. I need to hear it again. And so yeah, eventually I was like, this song is so sassy, is so fun. It feels a lot like what I grew up listening to. And I don't know if I relate to this concept exactly right now, but I know what it feels like to have a crush on someone and for some other person to also have a crush on them, and then they win and it's not a contest, but like they're winning. And anyways, so I it kind of became the North Star for the songs that I kept writing after that. And my producer, his name is Zeph, one of my best friends. He and I just kind of like locked in and have been writing so much, and so a lot of the music is kind of leaning towards that early 2000s hip hop esque, but still like kind of organic elements, still some like more like produced out drums, etc. But there's a lot of like nature sounds and my voice and things that make it feel very like ethereal to me, but still have that like catchy edge. And if there's a better way to describe that, someone else can tell me, but it's kind of where my head's been at least with, the whole project as a whole. But I'm really, really, really excited to keep teasing these next few songs and releasing them, and finishing up this project as well, both sonically and visually. I'm really proud of myself and my team for what we've been able to accomplish so far, even with just the first few steps.
I love the way you talk about it. Like you can just tell you're so passionate about like this upcoming record and all these songs. So it's so great to hear. Now before we dive into crimes a little bit more, I do have to ask, there hasn't been a release date yet for this upcoming album, and I know sometimes you might not be able to say exactly, but when should fans expect its release? Like soon, maybe?
It's gonna be 2026, so before the summer, before before summer 2026 is what we're kind of dreaming about. Um, but more to come soon.
Honestly, just based off the way you kind of like already described the album and like the feeling, I feel like that would be a perfect time to release it. Kind of like that springish summer vibe. Like, I'm so here for it.
Thanks. Me too.
Now, I know you talked a little bit about crimes already, so you just released that song and you recorded a music video for the song as well. And the music video has a really unique concept that really feels like art. So, can you describe the process of creating that music video and kind of bringing it to life?
Yeah, this music video is really fun. It's one of the only music videos that I've like made the whole deck, worked on, the production of the back end stuff. Um, One of my favorite like teams to work on a video as well. The directors, they did one of my videos from back before I was signed for my song Body Language. So I'd worked with them before. I actually went to high school with one of them. Not high school, sorry, middle school with one of them. And it was just really fun. I think we all really trusted each other, and the vision really came to life. I love the process of also like editing, with the director's name's Adam. And yeah, I mean, the concept itself there's not really like a huge like a pin, like there's not really like an on the nose way to describe it. It's kind of like however you perceive, but I didn't necessarily want to like crash a car or like actually like vandalize anything. But I wanted there to be this kind of like idea of, oh God, is she actually going to commit a crime? Is she okay? What is happening? Um, oh, she's in the garden. Oh, so cute. Oh, 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 okay. You good? Like, I kind of wanted there to be like this kind of question mark over the concept in itself. Um, so I'm glad that you like it. I really think the visuals really like, again, are kind of like a North Star for this whole album.
No, for sure. I love that. I like the way you said it's like it's all in how you perceive it, because I think that's what makes it feel the most like art is there's so many different like concepts like, like but it all ties back into, the garden and the knife and the everything like that. And it was very, I don't know, it came to me when I was watching it and I was like, I have to mention this. Because a lot of our listeners are Harry Styles fans and have seen Don't Worry, Darling. Have you seen that movie?
Mm-mm,
Okay, there's like
I have
it was
not.
very end of the movie vibes.
Okay.
And I was like, that's just the first thing that came to my mind. And I was like,
Oh.
I'm gonna mention that and see if it, because it was like very the white dress and the knife. It was a
Oh.
lot. And
I'll
sorry,
have to watch it.
yeah, spoiler alert to anybody that hasn't seen it.
That's okay.
So, but but yeah, so it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here today, Alexa. We really, really appreciate it. And it's been just so awesome to get a little bit more into, everything that you've done and everything that's coming up. But the one of our traditional last questions is in your experience in the music industry and it's so far, and because we know there's much more to come, but have you ever gotten a little jaded? And if so, how do you come back to yourself and the work that you love?
I would say yes. I think it's really easy to let a specific person or a group of people or even like a type of professional that maybe you've experienced be what you expect for every single person who has that position title or who works with that artist or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's really easy to kind of start making assumptions generally based on one experience. And I think at the end of the day, letting each person be their own person. And I definitely want to like tread lightly too, because I know that a lot of people have been like burned, like actually like terribly, um, by people in the industry or like the industry as a whole. But for me specifically, um, I think I just kind of have to realize that we're all on a floating rock. Um, and at the end of the day, there is something going on so much bigger than us. Um, and everybody probably needs a hug. And for me, I'm probably going to need a journal and a pen to get it all out, a matcha latte, and a bowl of soup, um, and a walk to the beach. And I would be okay after that. I think I would calm down. Um, but yeah, spending time with family and taking care of myself, um, and forgiving people, even if they don't deserve it.
No, I love this. Oh my gosh. Thank you. We really appreciate it, Alexa. Thank you
Of
so much for
course.
being here. And yeah, this has been super awesome. Go check out Crimes. It's streaming now. And stay tuned for Fairy Tales and Fallacies. Alexa, where can fans find you on social media?
My Instagram is Alexa Capelli. Capelli is with two P's and two L's. My TikTok is Alexa Capelli Music. And then my Spotify, Apple is my name, Alexa Capelli.
Perfect. Awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Alexa. We really, really appreciate it. Yeah, stay tuned for Fairy Tales and Fallacies. And for now, go stream Crimes. And yeah, this has been another episode of A Little Jaded.